one such that, like that. He was, so it is a satire, right? Um, that he held up. What the emerging picture is one that of a person who does not have a voice of his own, who is afraid to stand up for his convictions, his beliefs. Perhaps he doesn't have any religious beliefs or convictions, although not religious convictions. He doesn't have any faith, or he doesn't have any personal ideas of his own, or he doesn't voice his own opinions. And look at the next lines. He was married and added 5 children to the population, which Eugenides says that was the right number for a parent of his generation. So, how the politics interferes or invades the personal life of the people, even the number of children governed by the state. Now, isn't this happening in our society as well? Our economic systems govern the number of children that we should have. Is it a natural thing? Is it an expression of natural freedom? It is not. Right? So the ultimate restriction of freedom here. And our teachers report that he never interfered with their education. Why not interfere with the education? The education system is the system through which the state controls everything, where the first brainwashing is done. Now, you might even ask, our education systems, do they train children to think critically? Is critical thinking in our syllabuses, in our curriculums? Things like philosophy, then religious studies or social studies, even history presented through one angle, right? So subjects like literature or critical thinking, free thinking, are they encouraged? So the education system is the first instance where the mind of the child is formed. The education is controlled by the state, and the state controls the minds of the people. So this is the excellent case how you can form the opinions of the child. You teach the child what the good citizen should be, isn't it? යහපත් පුරවැසියෙක් වන්නේ කෙසේද? So that is the theme in most of our social studies books. And so must not never interfere with the teacher's education. If you interfere, you are going to create cause a problem. So that is not. The teachers have been instructed by the government how to teach and what to teach. So it should not be tampered with. Was he free? Was he happy? The question is absurd. Had anything been wrong, we should certainly have heard. Right? So what does it mean? We should certainly have heard. Which means that the state has been watching this citizen continuously. There hasn't been even a stir of questioning, a stir of unrest within the mind of this citizen. The citizen has never dared to step out of limits, has never dared to question or think freely. Had he done that, we would have definitely have known. Which means that the state has been watching this. So would that, in that sense of the word, has he been an unknown citizen? He hasn't, right? He has been very well watched, carefully surveyed. So a citizen who has lost his freedom due to state oppression. The ultimate loss of freedom because of state tyranny. That is the one theme of the poem. Then what is unknown here? The poem is um, titled The Unknown Citizen. So it is not on one level. Yes, he is not unknown. He is very well known. The government has been watching him. His movements, actions, thoughts, even his private life has been carefully under observation. Then what is unknown there then? It is perhaps the real citizen, the real individual is unknown. Right? The individual with all its aspirations, with all its hopes and fears, the real person is unknown, has died long ago. So the person has physically died and a monument has been erected in his name. But you can say the individual within this person has died long ago. His individual freedom, his individual happiness has been sacrificed a long time ago for the benefit of the large state. That is why he has been reduced to a number, only a number in the mega system. The big system, the government has given him a number. So this is the prototype of a good citizen which you should follow. Now what are the other themes that emerge from this poem? The state governed individual, isn't it? The first theme could be taken as state oppression. The oppression, the restriction of freedom of the individual through surveillance, through careful observation, through careful and systematic observation. There is a system for everything. It is not the previous police force. It is not controlling the individual by giving a gas attack or controlling quelling the rebellion. Earlier it was that the monarchs used to quell the rebellion through guns, through wars. Now the modern state is very tactful in its controlling of the individual. How does it control? Through its systems, through the education system, through the Bureau of Statistics. Then what are the other ways that it controls? There are a host of institutions. So the institutions are state controlled, the unions and social workers and the press, right? The research and the high grade living, those research bodies, the researchers into public opinion. So those are the institutions, the systems through which the state controls the individual. So the modern institutions, the modern man is controlled by a set of systems which restrict his freedom. The mind forged manacles, isn't it? We ourselves make these systems. The people have themselves made these governments and these institutions, and in turn they are uh, manacled or restricted by the same institutions or systems.
A modern man who lost independent thinking, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes. The modern man has lost his independent thinking.
And also the state, the social movement does not bother about his happiness of individual, no?
The state is not bothered. The state is cruel, cold, unsympathetic. They are not worried about the individual's freedom or happiness. It is not only that they are not bothered, they are trying to kill it. They are trying to curb this individual freedom. Because what does it mean? It means more trouble for the government. So it is a very indirect, yet subtle but powerful control, right? This state controlled. One when you say state oppression, a subtle, indirect control of the individual through systems.
And the line to 25 and 26,
Yes.
that the man is thinking thinking is that the marriage and having children would be one of the biggest accomplishment in his life, but the government, I mean the state, does not really care about his concern, no?
He doesn't. Yes, the state does not is not concerned about his uh, this happiness. Right? That's why we see this modern shift. Now look at this poem and even a poem like William Blake's, where they control. Blake vehemently criticized the marriage first, right? So there he condemned the church for making the marriage a hearse. So marriage, which was beautiful at that time, contrasted with the hers. Right? So there is a powerful contradiction, juxtaposition of images there. But see here, it is even unobserved. No, who talks about the beautiful of marriage? It is only the number of children in the family. There is no such thing as love or beauty or marriage. Even marriage is not there in this poem. Such questions are absurd. Was he happy? That is an absurd question. Who asks the person is happy in the modern world? Isn't it? Now, if I am I asking, now see at the beginning of this lecture, I am not even asking whether you all are safe. It's an absurd question. No one is safe. Right? So that's taken for granted. The person's lack of freedom and lack of happiness has been taken for granted. A very mechanical, that the tone of the poem is very neutral. In So it symbolizes that human happiness and human freedom are not of this era, right? That those are the was he happy, was he free? These are absurd questions. Nowhere in the poem has Auden addressed the happiness or the individual freedom of the person. Those are absurd questions in the modern era. No, the state is not going to be responsible for that. The state is not going to ask that.
It is at the line 25, 5, the number 5, what does it signify that? It's a population, no? 5 children to the population.
Yes. Which line?
25th, I think.
Fifth line from the bottom, is it?
He was married and added 5 children to the population.
Yes.
That number, what does it signify? That the state wants to direct that people
Yes.
how by telling those numbers on how many kids they should have, no?
Yes, a state governed thing. Like in China now, the state has imposed the number
Yeah.
of children that they should have. The number of children the family should have. It's the state's controlling the individual lives of the people. So in itself, the poem is actually, if you look at it carefully, it indirectly lists the ways in which people can disturb the peaceful governance. It is a list direct, dictated by the state as to what a citizen should not do in order to conform with it. What does it say directly? If you live by like this, now that is why they are erecting the monument on behalf of this person. If you live like this, you will be declared a saint, a good citizen. So, what are the things that you should not do? Right? You should not, um, right? You should not create trouble for your employers, right? You need to serve the greater community. You should, there should not be official complaints against you, and you need to pay your dues. And if there is a war, you need to go for war. So the list of things that a good citizen in the sense of citizen who is endorsed by the state, what he should do. That is, the poem is a list of things that the state expects the person to do. Right? So the words like greater community and sainthood, these have been given a new meaning. They have been redefined.
And also the freedom of his speech is controlled by the state, no?
Yes, where does that come out?
The,
The
the,
freedom.
the, the, was he free? Was he happy? The question is
Yes,
absurd.
of course, yes.
That means that his freedom of speech is completely controlled by that social
State.
institutions.
Yes, it is controlled by the state. So he has, no, was he free? Had anything been wrong? Was he free? Maybe he has expressed his opinions. Our researchers into public opinion are content that he held the proper opinions for the time of the year. So maybe he has expressed some of his opinions, but they have been opinions which are favored by the state at that time, right? So is a conformist, right? Not the independent, free-thinking person, but a person who is playing according to the dictates of the state, the government. And then there is a more deeper meaning of this. Now, just much as the state government, the government operation of the state, it is not only silencing this particular person, it is eradicating the whole freedom of the whole human or future generation. It is a kind of a brainwashing, isn't it? So people, once they are given, by erecting these monuments, they are saying that if you live like this is the way you should live. They're giving as an example and completely brainwashing the people, and so they cannot conceive what true or true freedom is. They cannot conceive what independent thinking is. Right? Their thinking has been curbed. Their critical thinking, their feelings have been curbed. Unconsciously, it has been done. Right? So, by giving them a set of rules to confirm, state is indirectly curbing their freedom in a way which the people do not feel it. Right? So, they do not feel it, and unconsciously, the people, the generation, the entire generation is losing their freedom of thinking, freedom of speech, and the freedom to feel anything apart from those listed by the institutions. The whole conception of freedom, they can't conceive anything as freedom, right? So it's very subtle yet powerful control or curbing of the freedom in a way which is subtle, unknown, unconscious, but yet very powerful. So what is Auden reminding us of here, that the state or government or bureaucracy that we ourselves have created. We are the people who created these modern institutions, the church, the capitalism, the fudge motors, the factories, right? Where everything has a list, there is a list of names, so there is an inventory that is taken, right? All that we created, so we are the instruments created or the institutions created by us have become faceless and indifferent and cruel tyrants who can in turn control us in return. And right, so that is now here this is the place where we come into the question of modernity. So it is, on the one hand, it is a critique of the government because the government is curbing the freedom of the people. That is one thing. The critique of the government and against state oppression, against state tyranny, and restricting the freedom of the people on one hand. And on another level, it is a universal, there's a universal thing because it is the dilemma of the modern man. How does that come out? Because in the modern world, the human life is indirectly controlled by large organizations which are bigger than himself. Now look at us. Is this not true about us? Like, how are we um, controlled? Like a huge health department and the World Health Organization that is there at the top, dictating the rules that we should follow in our country, right? So a body which is larger than us, indirectly controlling and indirectly saying what is good for us. So the social distancing is what is good for us at this time. In an indirect control, of course, there is nothing that can be done at this time. That is a different story. But institutions or organizations which are bigger than us, but which have been made by ourselves, indirectly taking control of our lives, our personal lives, and controlling. So that is the dilemma of the modern man. And this is the misery, right? The misery of the modern person, how his life is being controlled by human institutions which are made by him, and he is limited to a mere number. There is no sense of individuality or joy or happiness in the modern individual. So that is where we come into the broken existence, the misery of our existence, the loneliness, where we are reduced to a number, where we are not known, not for our individuality, but by a number in a bigger system. So that is our identity. What is your number in the big system? That is how our identity is going to be recorded in history. So we are in the process of losing our individuality in a huge system, and as if caught up in a big machine, which is called the modern project, right? If you look at modern, the whole thing as a modern project where everyone is listed, and your name is in a huge list where you have the address and the phone number and everything. So you are in that list, and you exist only as a number in a huge list, in a long list. So when you die, you will be referred to by your number, and the state will follow. It will have kept a record of your actions. Now look at that. Even in the present scenario, where you go and where you come, so it will be recorded in a number. You will be given a number, and this number has visited so and so places through a CCTV camera. It will be recorded, and then right, so carefully surveyed, watched. Where does the person go? Right, the human freedom, it is limited. Now here it is being done for the benefit, but in the modern project, that is how we are referred to, not in our individual self, not in our whole individual beautiful self, but as if in a number. So Auden questions the way that modern life is progressing. Right? So is this the way? Is this the freedom, or is this the goal that we wanted to march towards? Is this what we call human freedom? Now we were supposed, uh, civilization is supposed to be progressing towards something better. Now is this something better? He seems to be questioning that faith in modernism. So this is where he is in a dilemma about the way that society is progressing, right? He is now. It is maybe a critique of his government at that time, but it is also the dangers of a system where people will become non-entities, non-individuals. This person has lived. It is true, he has lived and died, but he is a non-person. He doesn't have a voice of his own. He doesn't have a say of how things should be, right? So this is the broader theme within the poem, the losing faith in the modern project, losing faith in the progress that humanity is making towards modernism, against warfare. These were the times of war, so it was important for the state to have a number, to have an inventory of the population. It was important to watch people, right, for any unrest. Right, what are the opinions of the people? Is there any unrest? Do they have any radical views? Any kind of questionable, unacceptable radical views? What are their views? What are their opinions? Right? So the government is watching people, and the individual. It's not the individual freedom, but the welfare of the state that is of importance here. So the state is important at the expense of the individual. It has state which was made by the humans itself has become more important, has become bigger and more important as humanity was progressing, and now it is controlling the life of the individual. So this
And
is where the modern project or modernism, the faith in humanity is questioned.
also on the line 25, 27, our teachers report that he never interfered with the education.
Yes.
Here that the education of kids were left up to the control of the state, no? That mean the parents did not interfere the education of their kids. So the government has the control of that educating people.
Yes,
So is it individual? I mean, uh, control by the government? Is that the
yeah.
government is controlling?
Yes, it is a control, government controlling individual because the education system is there.
Now that education system must be interfered by the government, not for the individuals, not by individuals. So do you think that this is a good idea or?
No, it is not a bad idea. Now, what the Auden, what he says, the critique here is, and our teachers report that he never interfered with their education. With their education, in the sense, now the eugenist says that the right number for a, he was married and added 5 children to the population.
Yeah,
And our teachers report that he never interfered with their education. With the education, in the sense, in the
it's
children's education,
education.
right? So the teachers uh, say, confirm, or they report that these parents, right? He, in the sense, he is the parent, right? So he did not interfere with the children's education. He, in the sense, this person, the person who has died, he did not interfere with the children's education. That means the parent did not interfere with the children's education. Interfering with the education is not so much a good thing, but what is meant here is people are not supposed to interfere. What does interfere mean here? They must not question into the whether the children are educated in the proper way, right? So in what the poem indirectly says is, state is telling them indirectly that parents should not interfere with the teacher's business. So that could be taken as a good thing if the teachers are teaching the right thing. But of course, here every parent has the right to see whether the child is being educated properly. Isn't that so? Now,
Yeah.
even as teachers, you and I would like to say that we do not want parents to come and interfere with our teaching. That is proper, because sometimes when parents interfere, children don't learn well. That is what we know as experienced teachers. But here, in a general sense, the parents have to know what is happening in the school, right? Whether what the child is learning is correct.
And also they see that subjective pronoun our teacher, instead of telling their teacher reports that, so he's telling that our
Our
teacher.
teachers, yes, our
But
teachers. So, like, yes, the government's teachers, correct. Our teachers means the government's teachers, right? So, the teachers who have been instructed by the government to teach according to their own ways.
uh,
Okay, right. So, any other questions within in this poem? What are the techniques that he uses? And there is no proper line scheme, and the poem has a very monotonous tone. It trembles on. Right? So the monotonous neutral tone in the poem is characteristic of the attitude that the state has towards the individual. And there's a lot of satire in the poem. And also some symbols are employed. You can say that the monument is a symbol of the government. It symbolizes the state endorsed person. The saint as dictated by the saint, or rather the saintly person, the saint as modeled by the government, not a saint in the proper sense of the word. Now, earlier in the medieval times, or in uh, before pre-modern times, saints were people who were heroic martyrs. They sacrificed their lives for what is right, for what is good, for the greater benefit of the society. They were representing the downtrodden society. But this saint is a very selfish kind of a person who has looked into his affairs, and also a person who is who confirms the rules and regulations of the state. So this is a saint that has been governed, and a saint who has been regulated by the state for its own benefit. It is for the welfare of the state. It is for the welfare of the government that it has declared this person a saint. So even the politics have invaded even the sphere of religion. It is no longer a matter of the church. Now it is a matter of the government, a matter of politics to declare people saints, and they are declaring saints according to their own selfish interests. So the whole poem is a satire, and in the end, the last two rhetorical questions drive the theme home. Was he free? Was he happy? Those two rhetorical questions are sufficient for the reader to reflect whether uh, modernism or the modern project has given the individual the freedom that he was longing for. Has his freedom been granted to him, or has it been further curbed? Right. Any other techniques that you notice in the poem? Right. No questions. Then, right, so we will be continuing this lecture. It seems that we need to do 6 hours regarding modern poetry, right? And American poetry 6 hours and Sri Lankan poetry 6 hours. So we will discuss this poem in greater detail. Please study W.H. Auden and Yeats, right? The two modern poets prescribed in this syllabus. And then we will move on to the American poets from next week. Are you by any chance able to do come for a lecture on
Now here modern poets Robert Frost and W.B. Yeats, what is another one?
only
Who
those
is
two
another one?
poets? Because Robert
What's
Frost goes into American poets, Emily Dickinson and Robert Frost are considered American poets, and Auden and Yeats, they are considered, we will take them in as modern poets. Right, but Emily Dickinson also herself can be considered a modern poet. So anyway, we are discussing all of these poets. So I will explain in detail more. I will explain more in detail about modernism, right, and how it differs from the previous poets. Right. So if now I will take your attendance as it is in the list on the right side panel, and I will upload the question onto Google Class, right? Your assessment question. But do not log out of Zoom because this is an in-class test, right? So this you are taking the remaining time for the assessment. Okay, so don't switch off the Zoom class. You can unmute your mics, but do not use the chat box here, and do not use the chat box, and do not discuss with each other, but write the question, answer, and upload it within the given time. Of course, you can cheat, right? You can go on to the internet and review, but it will be only taking more time, right? So if you cheat, you are the ones who will ultimately lose from that. One of you has said that you can't hear me. Of course, now can't help. I'm seeing the message only now. So do not cheat. Be true to yourself and answer the question within the given time limit. Okay? Right.
Madam, can we send an email?
Yes, you can
Yeah.
either upload in Google Class, or if it is problematic, you can send it to my email. But make sure that you do so within the time limit, right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't mind because it's the first assessment. But always try to keep to the time limit. It is a good practice for you to keep time, right? Because at the exam you have to write within the time limit. So make this a chance to practice writing within the given time. Any other questions?
Madam, can we have your email address?
Yes, it is sepalika@gmail.com. I will send it in the text box, chat box here.
If it is possible, that's easy to send to the WhatsApp group, madam.
WhatsApp, if you send the answers there, I
No,
mean,
no. We'll send it to the email.
okay.
Thank you very much, madam.
Okay, right. So, if you have any questions, please, you can ask them here, right?
Madam, are you sending the question to the Google Classroom, madam?
Yes, I'm sending it there now,
Email.
right? In the
Okay.
Google Classroom. That is how you wanted it. We will do it that way, right? I will send it there. Right, so I have sent the question, right? You can start writing your answer, right? You can leave the class, but don't sign out of the session, right? Okay. I'll finalize this session, right? If you have a question, you can ask now.
What time we are going to submit now? Now it is 11:03, no?
Yes, 11:05. 40 minutes from 11. We started at 10:25. So 11:05 is the time, right? 11:05, 11:08, 11:10. It's okay, right? Okay. Any more questions for anyone else? Right. So until I inform of the next lecture, I'll see you till then. Right? Bye.